and thank you all for being here. It feels great for me to present in my hometown what my team is doing in Milan. So we are part of the head office. We are based in Milan. And we are hoping to give you an overview of how we do analytics in Generali and why we believe that in order to do analytics in the right way, you don't just have to be a good scientist or a good technical person, you also have to be creative. So just an overview of what we are going to talk about. First, I will explain to you how Generali approach digital transformation. Then I will give an overview of the Analytic Solution Center, which is, like I said, the team that we work for. After that, we will show a video that will explain in a bit more detail what we do. And finally, Yasmin will give you more insight into how we approach customer and distributor innovation. As previous speakers said, this is very important indeed. So what is digital transformation? Usually many people, when they think about digital transformation, becoming a digital company, they think about hiring some IT people that are going to build a nice app, a nice website, so that you can interact with the customer in a more technological way, not face-to-face or by phone. Well, actually, at Generali, we believe that at the very base of digital transformation sits the wise and disciplined usage of data. This goes from acquiring, storing, analyzing, and using the data. Now, maybe not everybody can analyze the data, but for sure, everybody should be involved in acquiring and storing the data in an organized manner. And also, everybody should be open to using the insights that data can give us. So, if we think about it for a little bit, we realize that in insurance companies, we've been doing analytics for a long time. Maybe it wasn't called data science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, but it was still analytics, right? Actuaries, and I suppose many of you here are actuaries, you've been working with data, right? You're doing pricing, underwriting, you're using data. So the only difference is that the main idea is that we have to change focus. So instead of focusing just on pricing and underwriting, we should start thinking about applying data analytics in other areas of insurance companies. Also, we should start thinking about using different sources of data, not just data specific to a product. We all... Why it's not working anymore? Yes. We all know the context is tough. So our customers are also customers of Google, of Amazon, of Facebook. They are used to receiving a very customized service. So they are used to going on Facebook and seeing advertisements that they are interested in. They are used to going on Amazon and seeing suggestions for products that they are interested in. So they are right to expect from us to give them, to advertise to them products that they want to buy, right? So they are wondering, why does my insurance company try to sell to me a product that I can't afford, it's not useful for me, or I can buy? So based on all this, Generali decided 2 years ago that it is time to expand our analytical boundaries. So like I said, we had the knowledge, we had the skills, we had the mindset, because we were already doing analytics. But we just had to change focus. So instead of focusing on underwriting and pricing, we started to focus as well on, for example, fraud detection and fraud prevention, cross-selling, churn prevention, process optimization. Furthermore, we started using different sorts of data. So instead of focusing, for example, for life product, focusing only on data specific to life, we combine that with, for example, P&C data. Also, we look at data from other sources, like social networks, like location data, like it was mentioned before, driver assistance data from driver assistance systems. So, like I mentioned, we work for the Analytic Solution Center. This team was created 2 years ago. And our aim is to support Generali Business Unit digital transformation through the development of data analytics to address business challenges and to identify potential for growth. So what do we do? To be more exact, we help all Generali companies from different countries, basically all companies of the group, to develop new products, to do sales and marketing campaigns in a more efficient way, to do process optimization, to manage claims in a more efficient way, to optimize their processes, and also we continue to help them to do pricing and underwriting. How do we help them? Where it is important to say, first of all, that we only work if there is a business case. So after that, it's also important to mention that we work in collaboration with the company. So it's not like, you go to a car wash, you drive in, people are washing your car, you drive out, it's all done. No, we need a bit of help to wash the car. So like I said, first we need a business opportunity. Then we do data collection. For this we collaborate a lot with the company. We get the data from the company, but not only. After that it comes insights generation. This is where we become creative as data scientists. We try to combine different algorithms, to combine different sources of data. And finally, we have a business outcome, which is there in order to reduce cost and increase profit of the company. So let's try to be creative and imagine that by building this team, Generali try to make the best cake that insurance industry ever tasted. So what do you need to make the best cake? Well, you need the cooks, right? So for that, we have a team of 16 people. Most of them worked in Generali before, many of them as actuaries. So we work with Generali companies to embed analytics into the company value chain. What else do you need? You need the ingredients, right? For that, I already mentioned, we do data collection. We get data from the companies, but also from external sources. But finally, there's something missing. You can make the best cake in the world on the streets, right? So you need a kitchen. Our kitchen is our analytical platform, which is a cloud-based platform where we store both structured and unstructured data, where we have installed both licensed and open source software, and where we have stored our data, where we can use different visualization tools, and so on, basically where we do our work. So like I said, the Analytic Solution Center was created 2 years ago, and we are proud to say that in these 2 years we've been collaborating with many countries in Europe, but also with some countries outside Europe. So in total, we've been working on 42 projects in 14 countries. These are the main areas, the main pillars that we've been working on. I will show you now a video that will give you more insight into what we do exactly in each of these areas. And like I said, after that, Yasmin will explain in more detail what we do in terms of customer and distributor innovation.
Okay. Hello. I'm Yasmin Nouri. I'm a colleague of Ioana. I'm very happy to be here at Bucharest. It's my first time. So now we're going to deep dive into some use cases, some projects that we usually handle in our department. The first one is really about gaining customer insight. It's the core of our business. This is why we're determined to understand who are our customers, which product should we provide them, which fit their profile, but also their behavior. And this is why this lies at the heart of CRM analytics. I guess you already heard about cross-selling, upselling, and so forth. But in order to understand our customer, we need data. Unfortunately, we don't have big data in insurance industry. It makes sense because data is scarce. The customer interacts maximum maybe once, twice a year with the insurance provider or the intermediary. If you buy a car insurance, you only have information about the car, the driver, but you don't have social demographic information. If you buy a pension insurance saving product, you don't have information, especially if it's the third pillar, you don't necessarily have information also about the salary or the customer. So that is why we really invest into the data enrichment part. And data enrichment can be done via open source database or via commercial or private providers. And the second use case will be about a specific set of data, which is called location analytics. And thanks to location analytics, we can derive all kinds of information based on your location. So we can derive based on the address, the street, and the house number. We can see the square footage of the property. We can see if you live in the affluent side of the city or not. But this information is not only used, very important, as pricing, because there's a limitation to pricing. We are insurance, and what we do, the insurance industry is based on the principle of mutualization, of solidarity. So we cannot give a very high price to someone who has a lot of claims, and a very low price to someone who doesn't have claims. So we take this risk and we try to distribute over all our clients. This is why we do not only invest to give a right price to the customer, but we also invest to provide better services. It's very nice for a customer to know when he buys a house, which are the risks that the customer faces, which are the flooding risk, the fire risk, and so forth. So two use cases. The first one will be about CRM analytics, and the other one will be about data enrichment, how to use location analytics to give a good price, but also to provide a better service to our customers. So does location analytics work? No, sorry. CRM analytics work? Yes, it does work. What does it do? Based on your customer, if you have a specific product that you want to push or you want to sell, you want to identify which are the best customer to sell to. And we have done some kind of algorithms, which I will explain briefly which kind of algorithms that we use, how we use them. We have rolled out some campaigns, and we saw that indeed the success rate of our distributors was increased by 4%. And also the contact rate. It makes sense. If you provide the right list of clients to contact, then the contact rate will also increase. And we also saw that there is an increase of 30 points of percentage compared to not using a model. So yes, when you use machine learning, when you use analytics, it does work. We have experienced this with many countries. For example, in Austria, Germany, we have also some experience with Spain. So how does it work? You need data. You need a lot of data. You need a lot of historical data. Usually, when you launch a campaign and you want to sell a product, you usually store the data. This was not the case. So how do we proceed? We just looked at the product that we want to sell, and we looked in our historical database which are the clients who have this current product. Once we selected those clients who have the product that we want to sell, we are applying what we call machine learning techniques. And these are the most, I would say, famous machine learning techniques, classification techniques. And the first, I'm just going to explain briefly the first one, decision tree, because I think in the future you will come in contact with machine learning terms often, so it's very important to understand how it works. So once you have your client database and you have the client who purchased the product that you want to sell, you're going to tell to the machine, okay, let's play a game. Can you identify who bought the product? So the machine is going to ask some question. Does the client have, for example, in this game, very famous game, does he have glasses? Does he have brown eyes? Does he have blue eyes? But in this case, it will not be about the physical features, but it will be about the customer features, such as socio-demographic information. Is he married? What is his age? And so forth. The other kind of features that the model will ask is the relational features. How long was he customer with Generali? How many transactions has he, how many products has he purchased with Generali? So the machine will learn by itself, will ask question, and based on that, he will figure out what is the profile of the customer. And everything is done in an automatic way. So I think if you have the data, if you have the machine learning, it can be very powerful because the machine can see patterns that the human eye cannot see, can apply a percentage for each customer by saying, okay, this customer has 80 or 75% of buying this product or not. And then once you have this, you can provide this information to through your distributions channel, through your agents, and so forth. And this will increase the efficiency, but also the success rate and also the contact rate. So what does it look like? It looks like this. So here you have a dashboard. When you see at the upper right side, you just given the information or the client number of the customer. And there, when you see like the three little boxes, it will give you a percentage, which percentage does this customer in having to buy product A, B, and C. The three products could be, for example, life-saving product, a traditional product, or a risky product, which is a saving products with an underlying financial product. So we also insist on visualization because most of our work is very technical. And a lot of people don't know or have difficulties understanding what is machine learning, what is the goal of using machine learning. So that is why we also, when we present our results, we also do it in a kind of dashboard they can easily access. They don't really have to understand what's behind it, but we give some quick explanation on how it works. But the problem is, like I said before, is scarcity of data. We don't have a lot of data. The interactions between the insurance industry and the customer is very limited. We're not Amazon. We don't buy stuff all the time. We buy an insurance coverage when we need one, and we don't give all the information to our insurance or insurer provider. So the second part will be about location analytics. So I know you heard about Google Maps, and I know you probably heard also about OpenStreetMap. And so basically, and I saw that my previous speaker was speaking about GENERALI, where you just, for example, give your address and then you have the quotation. Well, this is also possible in Europe. Google and OpenStreetMap are open, they are providers of data. So every time you want to give in an address, then you have all this information for each address. And when you see there, you see you have cadastre. Cadastre is actually the square footage. So you have the square footage of your property. You can see where is the property situated. Is it near schools? Is it near shops? You have also the market value of a property. So all this information is available, is there, and a lot of insurance industry are using this information to compute the market value of a property, but also to see if it's near a fire station, also to propose as a service. Is your client closer to which health provider, for example, or closer to which agent? So it is very important, and I really want to emphasize on this because GENERALI probably is using this to develop based on the localization. You have the square footage, you have the market value for property, so you have everything to compute the price. Allstate has developed with Google Maps also an application where you just take the picture of your property. So once you have the picture, you have the geolocalization, and you can have the market value of a property, how many times there was flooding, how many times there were fires, and so forth. I just want to give a quick explanation about what's the difference between Google and the difference between OpenStreetMap. Google is a paid service, so we use a lot of Google APIs. You can do a lot of stuff with APIs. It's something that we also use when we have to recognize images. So for example, if you have medical documents, you have pictures, and then you want to recognize a characteristic. So it's something that we use in the back office to automatize the processes. But we also use it in location analytics. So we just send a request to Google. We say we want to information about this property. Then it will give in the market value, the square footage, and so forth. But it's a paid service. The OpenStreetMap is an open service. So here you have access to raw data. And this is really interesting because everyone has access to raw data. So you have communities and a lot of people working with OpenStreetMap and actually making and creating applications. So if we want to calculate distance between 2 points, I know there is some already on the market, some kind of service that is already exists because OpenStreetMap has been on the market for a very, very long time and is a way open that Google will never be. So I think the conclusion is use data, try to gather as much data as possible, it's there. Don't go necessarily for commercial options, go for open options because it's available. Also, quick words on, I mentioned Allstate Insurance, so it's definitely using this, probably Jetty also. For car insurance, you have the quick code, so you take a picture of your license plate, so it's also a service where you can recognize the characters. Once you have your license plate, you have every information possible about the car. You have the assistant driver's options about the car. You have, if you give in the age, and that's it. This is what you need to give a quotation. So Generali Belgium has developed a tool where they just take a picture of the license plate and they have a quotation in 60 seconds. You don't need to have the gender. Unfortunately, it's not possible to do verification through gender, but as actuaries, we have other ways of finding out the gender. For example, if the car is a Mini Cooper or a red car, or if or the driver is buying Victoria's Secret, then we can know that there's some kind of correlation. So I think I shouldn't say this, but we know the gender by correlation. Also for the leakage, very, very important. Now you have a lot of tools, so you can see the consumption of water. My father has this application, so every time I take the shower, then he just knocks on the door when I take too much water. You can also see the leakage. Thanks to this, you can identify leakages. These are solutions that the insurance industry could simply implement it. You just have to be very creative. All the tools are there, technology is there, the data is there, but people are not using it or not using it enough. And these are some examples that we did with location analytics. We just wanted to see if our customers are living nearby fire station, police station, so you have less claims and so forth. So you can use whatever you want, commercial areas and so forth. And then how you gather, manage, and process your information is how you will have a competitive advantage.